Hello everybody, can you hear me? Hi, and I'm Hu Xiaoguang. I'm a master's student in the University of Jyväskylä. My major is information system. And actually I have a partner today here, but unfortunately he got flu and allergic, so he can't deliver the speech, so forgive me, because this part I'm really poorly prepared. So you want to talk about yourself?
Sorry about this. So actually I have a pollen allergy and I have flu, which will make me want to cough a lot during the speech. And that's why I decided to skip this part and leave that to him. We just did our first rehearsal like half an hour ago in that corridor, and I think he did great. You can do it. I trust you. Thank you.
Alright, so the title, Mission Impossible. So I think most of you will believe this is a Mission Impossible, right? So let's skip to the next slide, the first slide, come on. Come on, sorry. Okay, you all have online accounts, right? You don't have several accounts, you have like a dozen accounts. So apart from this famous, really famous app, you may have some, I don't know, less famous random app you are using. Are you using completely different password for all of this? I believe no one is using that, okay? Here's the problem. These famous app, they might have a really professional security team to manage their users' accounts and passwords. But what else? Or what if those these apps were developed by college students like me? So you can't make sure that they have such strong security management team as this big company. So this a really common thing will happen that the hackers will attack this app, and next slide. And there will be database exploits. Next. Okay, when one website was compromised and all of their user accounts and their password will be released into a black market for sale, and other hackers might have this as well. And then the other hackers will use these user accounts and password to try other application. For example, you are using the same password and the same username for this random app and the Google account, and your Gmail will be compromised as well. And then your Gmail is the security email for your PayPal, and then the hacker will get to your Nordea bank. This is really serious. So if you are using the same password, you will have this risk. And some of you might say, I'm not using the entirely same password. I'm using the similar password because I'm adding some numbers, I'm adding some words into my old password to create a new one. However, the hackers, they have a dictionary of this password. So they can try all these possibilities within seconds. So using similar password is actually using the same password in the eyes of hackers. Okay, so this is a fact. Next. The way to avoid this risk is we use different complex passwords for different websites, and then we should change it, update them regularly. Okay, Mission Impossible, because we can't remember all these complex passwords. Yes. So then we have this solution. We don't need to, we can simply write down into papers, but it will create a problem. You should keep this notebook with you all the time. And you will be missing, or you can be seen by your coworkers or your friends, or this is still not really not really safe. And then you can use this password management software, like this is example for what's that, like Apple's
iCloud keychain.
Yeah, iCloud keychain. Yeah. The problem using this kind of software is they are saving our passwords into their cloud. So there is still a risk for hackers to exploit that. Yeah, there is still a risk. And then if those software don't save it in cloud, they won't be all platform, because you are only using it in your laptop, but you can use it within your phone, right? So the final solution is we should not use the cloud service and the notebook. We should always keep the password in our head. Still, mission impossible, right? We also need to keep all those different passwords in head, and then we should change it regularly, and the password should be complex enough. Here's the problem. So we have this solution. We don't need to remember the password itself. We create a calculator, a password calculator. The input is the service name, a private key, and then some settings for the length of the password. And this is based on the hash algorithm, and I will explain that with an example. So assume that we are going to create a password for Twitter. So this is a really, really simple example that I'm using Twitter as a service name. You can just change it like my Twitter and whose Twitter. This is my name. And this private key, it doesn't make any sense to you, but it makes sense to me. So this is my private key. It's a really hard, it is an information that really hard for others to guess and for even to try it out. And then this setting is I need 12-digit password for Twitter. And then this hash algorithm will generate a nonsense string. Yeah, this is actually nonsense because it doesn't make any sense. This is just some binary code. I'm not going to explain that, but this is just how this calculator works. So this algorithm will calculate this string based on these two inputs. And why we are using this algorithm is that the hackers, based on this string, the hackers technically is really, really, really hard to calculate back these two inputs. And then if you give this algorithm the same input, the output will always be the same. So that makes our calculator possible. Yeah, and then our calculator further translates this nonsense string into a password, a strong password. You can see there's smaller, lowercase letters, uppercase letter, numbers, and then one special characters. This is a strong and complex password. Okay, more example. If you need to use Facebook, to set a password for Facebook, and you can see here is the simple input, and the private key is still the same. This is actually the user interface for our prototype. And you can see that the input is case sensitive. If you're using this uppercase letter and the lowercase letter, the output is different. And I will explain the not secure later. And now you want to have this regular update for your password. You can simply change this service name. Like this is Facebook this year and Facebook next year. So you will have completely different password for each year. And you can also change this private key. You can add 2018 here or here. Then the password will still be different. So remembering these two are not problem for you, right? This is really easy to remember.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
All right. So this is our solution. And actually we have, then we will be happy. Mission impossible achieved. Okay, we actually created 2 prototypes for you guys to try out now. So if you can take out your phone, connect to the Wi-Fi, and this is a Chinese version. This is fully developed. It's a WeChat mini program, and that one is an English version. It is not fully developed. So, and it is deployed in our university server. And they don't have HTTPS connection, so that's why your browser will warn you that this is not secure. But the not secure means that any data transmission happens in the website is not secure. But we don't have any data transmission. All the calculation happens in your phone. So when you calculated a password and you close the app, everything's gone. Yeah, technically. So you can try this out, and we still have a lot of time for Q&A. Come on, ask me a question.
Hey, excuse me, does it mean every time before I log in some website, I need to run your app to calculate the password?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And sorry, can I ask you to say more? The reason why I'm creating this is I'm not trying to to make sure that your one account is safe, because actually in this modern society nothing is safe, because the hackers are growing really stronger and stronger. You have no idea when one of your online account will be hacked. But if you are using a completely different password for all of your online account, so it will be harder for the hackers to crack your other account. So that's why I'm trying to do this. You will be a little bit of, I don't know, some more effort to do this, but for your safety, this is for your safety. Yeah, okay, go to the next. So sorry, the lady in the back.
Okay, if I install your app on my phone and I use Twitter as my service name, and I also give the private key, and if your app is something like hacker, and then you know my Twitter password.
This is an open source app. You can have my source code online. So it's completely, I don't know, you have my guarantee. And this is not an app. That one is a web application, and this is a WeChat mini program. You don't need to install it, and there's no data transmission. I wrote the code, I can guarantee that. And if you want to see my code, I can give you the open source address. That lady.
Yeah, actually I have the same question. So, like, my password is created based on this, but if somebody hacked this, or somebody, and then it will have all of our password to all kind of websites. It's like that.
No, because we don't save any user data. We don't save any data. There's no data transmission. We don't save any information. It's just an algorithm for calculating your password.
But we still need to save our password somewhere.
We don't save your password.
But we need to, as a user.
You save in your head, because the input is really easy. You can go back to the sorry. Or if you want to say something.
You want to say something?
Yeah.
So here you actually have basically two inputs in here. You have a search alias, but what I want to say is that if you're using Facebook, you don't have to use Facebook as your service alias. You could kind of self-develop another alias for Facebook, like Faith or Vogue, FB21, something like that, something that only you know. So technically speaking, these two are both private key. If in one session a hacker could hack the program and get the private key, he would not actually know what other service alias you're using. So basically he gets your Facebook password, but not other passwords.
Any other question? Oh, yes. Come on.
Yeah, questions. When you have the allies, and you set different allies for different program, and then what will you do if sometimes you set the different allies, and then once they give the different password, so then you cannot actually log in with your account. Will that happen?
Can you repeat that? So different service allies and different...
Yeah, for example, now it gives like Facebook 2018 with that password, and will it change if you, like some other days, do it the same way?
No, it
will the passport change?
You remember?
If you have the same input every time, no matter when you're using it, if you are using Facebook to 2018 and using the same private key, no matter when and where, you get the same results. And the hackers could not actually trace back from this to this. Is that what you mean?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Right. Thanks.
Right. And there's another strategy that you could take. So we have these more important accounts and less important accounts. So if you're using, you can self-develop a strategy, a kind of a mnemonical way to make your more important service alias not predictable, but just using very plain and straightforward alias for those apps that you're using only once or twice or in this week, and that will make using this app more secure.